Wesathiala with you all health. I am Raven, and in the next few videos, I am going to be reading from a book called Musashi's Book of Five Rings. This video, of course, is the introduction, and this is a can of Author Mead Company Draft Mead. It's just here because I'm drinking it. I'm not endorsing it or anything. All right. Now, this is, according to what it says on the title, anyways, the definitive interpretation of Miyamoto Musashi's classic book of strategy, Stephen F. Kaufman, Hanshi, 10th Dan. It's by Tuttle Publishing. I'll begin with the preface. Musashi is well known to most martialists. He is considered the Kensei, sword saint of Japan. While his teachings are essentially centered around swordsmanship, his teachings fall without question into the domain of study for practitioners of all the martial arts, including karate, judo, western fencing, and other killing forms as well, but only if they are used to take life in combat. The Book of Five Rings is Miyamoto Musashi's teaching on the art of strategy in combat based on swordsmanship. It must be understood that whether or not you practice the martial arts or use the teachings for other disciplines, there are profound truths to be gleaned from this work. Miyamoto Musashi's legacy. Excuse me. My own personal involvement in the art of karate for nearly 40 years, along with my 10-year study of the rings, has led me to take the responsibility of interpreting these teachings for the martialist who wishes to understand the true way. This is a profound work on life and death in combat. It is not for the immature. I do not advocate the taking of life for any reason. Keep in mind that Musashi's work was done at a time when mortal combat was a way of life. The teachings of Musashi and this interpretation are to explain the principles and philosophy of the warrior's life in ancient Japan. About the translation. This is not another book about Japanese business strategy. There is a significant difference between not getting a deal signed and having your head cut off. Business is mental. War is mental and physical. The true warrior has no difficulty understanding this difference, regardless of all the hype suggesting that business is war. It absolutely is not. I disagree with this mentality, but I'll save that for later. This is a book for martialists, not martial artists. The concept of art can lead to a misunderstanding of the warrior's purpose and preclude a subjective relationship to form and function. For, paradoxically, the warrior is all passion, although he shows none, and kills without hesitation. The reality is one of neither subjectivity nor objectivity. Development of technique is essential to understanding of purpose. Once a specific technique has been understood, the warrior stops using it on a conscious level because in combat, having a conscious identity imposes limitations. Knowing how to do something and actually doing it are not at all the same thing. Taking a life is not the same as taking money. This fundamental premise is the reason why samurai despised the merchant class, even while understanding the need for the merchant mentality. Cold-blooded businessmen, however, do not understand the true way of the warrior. The majority of translations of Musashi's work available on the market are little more than intellectual exercises in translating Japanese to English. They do not adequately express the feeling required to study life and death confrontations, and therefore fall short of the mark. The present work has been done with the purpose of clearing up the misconceptions of naive Westerners and Easterners as to the real purpose of the 5 rings. It explains in depth, with additional definition, the truths that must be comprehended before it is possible to come to terms with the teachings of Musashi. It is therefore to be studied as a universal explanation, with deep reverence and profound homage to the Master. I take full responsibility for the interpretation of all concepts presented herein. Steve Kaufman, Hanshi, 10th Dan. And with that, I must conclude this video with 1 or 2 of my own notes. As I said, I disagree with the mentality that this author states there, the difference between business and war. Because being that I have learned so much from my ancestral gods, Odin and Thor, I have learned that in reality, war is simply another expression of the natural conflicting nature of our universe. Everything is conflict. Everything is war. And therefore, the warrior's mentality applies to every area of one's life. And even from Miyamoto Musashi's words, as they are translated and interpreted by this author here, we still can glean that same message. And therefore, I would say that Stephen F. Kaufman has essentially contradicted himself. And in the next video, I will read the next section of the book, which is the introduction, which is, of course, in Miyamoto Musashi's very own words, the words of the Sword Saint of Japan. Wes Satyahala, with you all health. Thank you very much, and think deep.